Game on.
Hey there, game gurus. Welcome back to the channel. Today's a little news video about, well, the Vectrex. The Vectrex is one of my favorite systems of all time. Came out in 1982, right before the great video game crash in 1983. So the system never really got, I think, as much love as it would have gotten if that didn't happen. Basically, it's a self-contained system with joystick, sound, power, and a vector monitor. So it had its niche, but if you ever come across one of these, I highly recommend you grabbing it. It's a phenomenal machine. But like any machine, especially one that came from the 80s and it's pretty old, it's going to need maintenance. It's going to need, cleaning. It's going to need new capacitors. Hopefully not a new CRT, because those don't exist right now anymore, and they're pretty scarce. But one of the things are the controllers. It's one of the systems back in the day that actually had a self-centering analog joystick. Now, the Atari 5200 kind of pioneered that a little bit sooner, but it wasn't self-centering, and that was one of the problems. And it wasn't even a standard analog joystick. It was really two potentiometers that they tried to make work. And of course, as usual, I'm digressing from the point of this video. But the Vectrex did have a really good controller. The problem is the springs sometimes break, or something happens in these controllers, because obviously that's how you play in the games. They get hit on, they get dropped, and they break. So that comes into my friend Sean Kelly, who has been doing stuff with Vectrex for a very long time. And on the screen right now is his website, which I'll put a link down below to. It's vectrexmulti.com. And he does reproduction carts, he does overlays, because the Vectrex is a black and white monitor. There's overlays you can put over it to give different colors. But a cool thing he's doing right now, at a pretty good expense at his own part, he's making pretty much a one-to-one replica of the original controllers. So he just went live with it. So let's go take a look at his website here for a moment, and let's see what we have here. So we do have his multi-cart. We'll take a look real quick. So this is something you can purchase right now. Looks like he's got 101 games on it, and this is not one you can add more games to. This comes to everything pre-installed on the cartridge. That's something he's been offering for a long time. He also has, well, the store. Let's go right into the actual store itself. Boom! So these are the different things he does offer. He does empty cartridge shells. If you want to have different colored shells, your shell is a little bit broken. Overlays is a big thing. The Vectrex, you can play it without the overlays, but it does add a lot to these games. In some games, you kind of need them to see what's happening on the screen. You can still play it, but it adds a lot. So he does overlays. You can buy one at a time, or you can buy the whole shebang for $250. Get every overlay that's currently needed for the Vectrex. He also has Vectrex repair parts, and he also has some Vectrex games as well. He does have some replacement items like cartridge ports. Here's some of the overlays and games he offers, which is really, really nice. Even this, I'm going to probably pick this up here. I have two Vectrex units, but having a nice dust cover versus my plastic bag I generally use would be kind of nice. So I'm going to probably pick up two of these. And $20, that's a bargain. And you can see he's got the overlays here. This is actually pretty good. This is yet another Space Invaders emulator on the Vectrex, but it doesn't use vectors. It actually does raster graphics, which is kind of neat. But again, if you look all the way down, he's got his cartridges here. He's got paper sleeves for the overlays, all these different things. Light pens, because the Vectrex is one of the first machines that offered a light pen. The Bally Astrocade had that as well, but the Vectrex had it. And the Vectrex also had a 3D imager. So he's got all these really cool things on here on his site. We'll keep going down, and here we go. Here's the big super nuts. Now, this is a brand new, like literally just went live. So he's doing like almost like Tesla. You get a special edition. So he's going to offer a black version and a special edition white for $220 with all the different overlays you would need to put on the machine. So he'll be offering this later on down the road individually, probably under $100 for a single one. But these are basically one-to-one replications of the Vectrex controller. Now, they've been making for years, third party and ones that work differently. I have a couple where you can plug in like a Sega Genesis controller, and it's a little module like that intersects that, and you can use Sega Genesis controllers. And most of the games are fine that way. Not every game needed an analog controller. Some were totally even better with a digital controller. But there's no question that some games did need the analog joystick. So you can see right here, for $220 right now, you will get the black controller and a box, and a box that looks like an original box, but plus white special limited edition version of controller. So you're going to get two for $220. Plus, you can see here, he's got all the different types of overlays you would have had. They had North American, Japan, I think, had theirs, and European over here. But you can see the screws, and he actually said he did enhance inside a little bit. One of the PCBs, he added an extra post inside for strength for the buttons. But outside of that, it's going to be an exact fit. Molds were made. He talked to the vendors to make sure the buttons felt the right way they were supposed to feeling. He had gone through a number of iterations until it got done correctly. So we can see here's the two controllers right here. You get the special $220 offer. It does take, PayPal. Let's go take a click here and zoom in on just the white one. It's limited launch edition. And GCC, General Consumer Electronics, are the people who actually originally made this, and Milton Bradley had bought the rights after the fact. But this looks pretty nice. And again, you put the overlays on yourself. Now, the one thing I wish you did do, I'm always going to say this, now, if you ever have to go inside it to repair anything, you do have to destroy the overlay, because the screws are like right here, right here, right here, and right here. But that's how it was on the original. I wish you did it on the back side. It's just me. But it is a lot easier these days to get reproduction overlays, and it does include them. So I'm assuming that's not going to be a problem down the road. But that's just something to consider, that this is literally a one-to-one replication of what was on your Vectrex. And if we go over here, here's what the standard one. So if you got a Vectrex, this is what that controller would have looked like. You have right here your 360-degree analog joystick, button 1, button 2, button 3, button 4. Your cord and a regular like Atari. It's not exactly an Atari style. It's very close to an Atari style. It had little sides cut out a little bit more. So if you use like third-party controllers, sometimes you got to cut this parts off to make it fit. This is going to be literally, you get it, unbox it, and you wouldn't know it wasn't an original controller. And you can see here just with the different artwork on it. I believe this one here is the Japanese release. It says Bandai on it because Bandai did do the Vectrex in Japan. And then this is the European version. Personally, I like the original one, but of course I'm in the States, I'm going to say that. So that is pretty cool. And again, this is available right now to order. And again, it would fit inside the unit. Now in the Vectrex, the controller actually locked in the front. You could pull it out. It'll do the exact same things. You, again, would not know it's not an original controller. And it does come in an original box. So when you purchase these after the fact, they came in their own little box. So you're going to get two boxes. You'll get two controllers. You get all the different overlays. For $220 plus shipping, you'll be able to get both of these controllers. And that's it for this video. So if you have a Vectrex, do check out Sean Kelly here. He's been doing stuff with Vectrex for a very long time. And I'm going to be picking this up myself. I'm not sure if I want the launch edition, though. I have two machines. I think I want to have the two black joysticks. So I'm going to have to wait until the launch edition goes away. But I think it's awesome. I have third-party controllers, but you always want to have the original. In fact, the Vectrex does support two controllers, so maybe I have to buy four. I don't know. But I'm just really happy he's making it, and I wish him the best of luck. But that's it for this retro news video. If you did like it, please give it a thumbs up. It takes 1 second for you, but it really doesn't mean a lot to me and YouTube algorithms. And if you're not a current subscriber, please subscribe to my channel. I'm on my long 13-year march to my 13,000 subscribers. I appreciate all those people who have subscribed in the past, but I do want to get my subscription up and help out people in the process. The more people who subscribe to me, the more people will find out more about these great items that are being made by just regular people, just doing things to keep these machines going a little bit longer. But that's it. But remember now how much fun the Vectrex is. And man, it is fun. Even with, it's got a 3D imager, it's got a light pen, and it's just got great games. As fun as that is, remember, nothing takes precedence over family and friends. Just take a moment to tell them you love them and miss them, because tomorrow's never promised. But in between those times, head over to Sean Kelly's website here, pick up some extra items to Vectrex, so you too can game on.
Game on.